Hello everybody and welcome to another movie review. Today I'm going to talk about a film called The Amazing Spider-Man, directed by Mark Webb, the same guy who did 500 Days of Summer. Now this is the only thing he's done, so I don't know too much about the guy. Now Amazing Spider-Man, if you do not know, I'm sure everyone does though, or at least everyone who is into movies, knows that Amazing Spider-Man is a reboot of the Spider-Man franchise. The production started once Spider-Man 4 was cancelled, and they decided in 2010 to go ahead and instead of just making Spider-Man 4 because of the complications of Tobey Maguire not wanting to return and all countless other things, they decided to go ahead and just reboot the franchise, which gives us now The Amazing Spider-Man. Now, the plot of Amazing Spider-Man does not have Mary Jane Watson's character in it. Instead, the girl character is Gwen Stacy. Now, I'll give you my opinions about the differences between Sam Raimi's Spider-Man film, and then I'll give you what I like about Mark Webb's Amazing Spider-Man film. I'll tell you that here in a few minutes. But as for now, the plot of the movie is pretty much about, of course, pretty simple. This time the villain, instead of being Green Goblin, is now the Lizard, and in this movie, Peter Parker's character, played by Andrew Garfield from Star Trek, I believe. Anyways, Andrew Garfield plays Spider-Man, Peter Parker, and he just, of course, gets bit by the spider. Gwen Stacy, of course, is his love interest, and he has to take on the Lizard. That's pretty much the gist of the film. Not too complicated than that. And that area just gets bitten, has to take on the Lizard because and of course, countless other things are going on. But the way they do it in this film is a little different, and I will say this film feels a little darker than the previous Spider-Man film. Now, let me tell you some of the things that I liked about the original Spider-Man. I'll tell you some of the things I liked more about the original than I liked about the remake. So one of the things that I like more about the original is, of course, red-haired Mary Jane Watson. I like her more than Emma Stone playing Gwen Stacy. Not that Gwen Stacy was bad, not that Emma Stone was bad, but I think just because of my already knowing of the previous knowledge and having grown up, with the Spider-Man film, just already seeing them and already having Mary Jane just engraved into my mind, it was a little hard getting used to Emma Stone's character playing Gwen Stacy, but she wasn't bad at all. Not bad at all, but I do prefer Mary Jane. Another thing that I prefer over from the previous film to the new film is the villain. Out of the 3 Spider-Man films, with first Spider-Man you get Green Goblin, second you get Dr. Octopus, and then third you get 2 villains, Sandman and Venom. And out of those 4 villains of the previous Spider-Man films, Green Goblin is my favorite. I've always liked how he's like, 2, semi-personalities, bipolar, just, psychological. I've always liked Green Goblin. He's just, kind of an insane nutbag. He's just, Green Goblin's a cool villain. But I'll be honest, if I had to pick a second favorite villain with all of these films combined, including the reboot Amazing Spider-Man, I would have to include Lizard as my second, because I felt Lizard was one of the most outstanding things about this film, if not one of the best things. Now, I really did like the Lizard. He's a really cool villain. I'm not for sure of the guy who plays him, but I really think he did a great job. Really gives the character of Lizard a lot of life. That really kind of smart scientist, but there's something kind of quirky and kind of strange about him, so he did a good job. Now, I'll be honest, I had a hard time taking Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man seriously for the first, I'd say, 15-20 minutes of the film. That was until he started more like himself. He put the glasses on, and he started acting a little more like a nerd, And then I was like, okay, now I can take you seriously as Spider-Man. But at first, I was a little sketchy. Now I'm kind of warmed up to the idea because I guess for so many years, like I said about Mary Jane's character, I've had Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man. I had him engraved in my mind. It was hard getting used to Andrew Garfield. But after the film, I was like, no problem. He plays a good Spider-Man. So one of the other things I liked about this film, and here are some of the pros that I liked more about the reboot than I liked about the previous. Now, I really liked how they played up the backstory. The backstory of the original one was pretty cool, but they kind of gave you some twists and some turns, and they threw their own backstory into the reboot, and they leave some things unanswered. That way they can answer them later on in a sequel. They leave some things unanswered, as I said, and I really like the backstory a lot better. I like the backstory with his uncle. I really like how it shows his mom and dad. I really like the whole flashback sequence, and it shows them this. That was really cool. I'm trying not to give away any spoilers, but that was really cool. I thought the backstory in this film was done. No offense to the previous film, Sam Raimi did a great job, but I really thought the backstory was a lot better in the remake of Spider-Man than Sam Raimi's previous Spider-Man films. But like I said, the backstory was really cool. I also have to say that the fight scenes, for me at least, I felt that Sam Raimi's were good. They were kind of gritty kind of fight scenes. They were good. They were great fight scenes. Nothing wrong with them. But I felt that the reboot of the Spider-Man franchise, the fight scenes were a lot more polished. I honestly felt like this film had a lot more heart to it, and the fight scenes were just a lot more polished, and I think they fit more in the film. Just like I said, polished fight scenes, very swift, very fluid, very lively. I felt they fit more in this film. Like I said, if I had to pick a Spider-Man film, which one's better, I would have to honestly say that I don't know if I would be able to, because I honestly think they're about on par with each other. I know a lot of people probably might prefer the original. Some people might prefer the remake. As for me, I feel they're about on par with each other. There's things that I like about the previous one more than this one, and then there's things I like more about the remake than I do the original. So all in all, both are great Spider-Man films. Definitely worth a watch. This is actually the first one, I believe, to be fully filmed in a 3D. I believe critically the film did pretty good. Rotten Tomatoes gave it, their whole fresh rating. Not that amounts to anything, but I guess if you care enough about that, they gave it their, certified fresh. And made roughly $538,000 or $1 million during its box office opening. So that's noteworthy. I won't say what happens, but if you have not seen the film, go ahead and stay those extra 2 or 3 minutes after the credits to see what happens. I won't say any more, but go ahead and stay for the entire experience. You'll want to, believe me. Anyways, if you don't know, a sequel has already been planned, already been announced, and it will be coming out May 2nd of 2014. So it'll be a summer blockbuster in the year of 2014. Once again, that date is May 2nd of 2014. Don't know too much about the sequel. I don't know if the director's going to return. I'm sure the same actors are going to return, that whole thing. One of the other things I really liked about this movie was the ending. The ending was really cool. The last, I'd say 15, 20 minutes are just really cool. I won't say what happens, but just the ending I really felt was cool. So anyways, both films about on par with each other. I like things about both, but not a truly, oh my god kind of film, but the film was pretty cool. So anyways, that's my review of The Amazing Spider-Man. Like, comment, subscribe to my page below, and I'll see you guys later with another DVD review.